Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside Stegman Coliseum. Kevin Kopp. I'll be joined in just a few moments by Cassidy McComb. The lights are up, and we're just a few minutes away from getting started between this, one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the entire 2013 NCAA gymnastics calendar, as the number 8 Georgia Gym Dogs get ready to take on number 5 Alabama. 16 combined NCAA championships between these two programs. Georgia winning 5 in a row from 2005 to 2009, and Alabama, the two-time defending national champions. Georgia has not beat the Crimson Tide since 2009. That is 7 straight victories in the series for Alabama, and these Gym Dogs under first-year head coach Dana Durrani trying to change that this afternoon. So we've got a great one on the way. We thank you for watching with us here on GeorgiaDogs.com. We remind you as well to participate in the interactive live blog. You can find that right on the GeorgiaDogs.com front page. Click the link. Sports Information Director Kate Burkholder standing by, waiting to answer your questions and your comments. And it is alumni meet, and we're welcoming an alumni with us here into the booth. We've got Cassidy McComb, who was honored on the floor. Folks that were watching here at the beginning of our broadcast at 4 o'clock saw Cassidy with over 50 former Gym Dogs get to walk out there on the floor. This is always one of the great and one of the unique traditions here at Georgia, Cassidy, because there is so much history. You're a part of it, and it's such a thrill to see Gym Dogs going back to the earliest days of the program. We had Suzanne and Doug and Dana out on the floor, so it's a nice bridging of old and new today.
Absolutely. It was so fun to see a bunch of the girls. We had a great turnout tonight, which was a lot of fun. You know, you see a lot of old faces and teammates that, you know, go your separate ways. So it's good to reconnect, but really, I mean, they are the history of this program, and they are why we are here today. So these girls just want to continue their legacy.
Well, as we mentioned, recent history for Georgia has not benefited them in this series against Alabama. The last time that Georgia won was, I believe, your sophomore year of college. The last time Georgia won a national championship, that was 2009. So you know that it's something. We talked to Lindsey Cheek Jr., and I think especially on the part of the upperclassmen, it's got to weigh on them a little bit to have been here and never beaten Alabama in your career. Meanwhile, seeing Alabama win 2 straight national championships. So is it fair to say that the adrenaline is running just a little bit higher today than maybe some other days getting ready for the Crimson Tide?
The adrenaline is definitely pumping, and even Dana said in practice yesterday, you know, like, it's okay. You know, we're excited that it's Bama, and of course there's going to be a rival there no matter what. I mean, there's no denying that we have a rival with them, but you want to beat any team that comes here. So honestly, I mean, they're a little bit more hyped up than normal, but that's just excited energy.
And we're going to see that out on the floor, I'm sure, today. The touch warm-up clock has just begun. What we want to do here before we get to the Georgia Vault lineups is take a look at some of the scores from last night. This is Saturday afternoon, and Friday night was a busy one. We've got scores all over the map, really, in the top 10, and we'll take a look at that now. Some notable scores from last night. Number 9, Utah, who enters this weekend just a fraction below Georgia in the national rankings, a 196.425 in a win over Arizona State. Number 1, Florida, looking like the number 1 team in the country. They actually sat some of their gymnasts and still went 195.575 on the road at Arkansas. You can see a good bounce-back effort from the Razorbacks there, 196.975. Minnesota snuck into the top 10. They'll be right back out of it with a 194.325 and a win there at Michigan State. In SEC news, number 6, LSU, winning ugly on the road, 195.875 against Kentucky, who scored a 195.250. Number 2, Oklahoma, doing what they do, just low to mid 197s every week, one of the steadiest teams in the nation. They won a quad meet with a 197.375 last night. Auburn putting up a huge score on the road. The Tigers got off to a really rough start this year. They are hitting their stride now in February, 196.725 at Missouri there. The Tigers continuing to struggle in their inaugural SEC campaign, 194.575. And one last score of note, Georgia is the number 8 team in the country. They entered behind number 7, Nebraska. Not a big score there from Nebraska at home, 195.750. So plenty of opportunity for the Gym Dogs to move up, and more important, sometimes we talk about how the score and how the rankings are a little more important. This just feels like one of those days where the win matters maybe a tiny bit more than you love putting up that good score at home, but it would mean a little more to do it in a win today against Alabama.
Yeah, especially, you know, at home. We have a lot more fans than we normally do. I believe it was a sellout, but I still
Yes, it was. We're waiting on a few folks to file in still, but yeah, this is a sellout. You've got folks up to the rafters in the last row of the building. The student section is more or less packed. They'll be loud. They'll be rowdy. This is what you want.
And the season's going by so fast. You know, we just have to embrace this. I mean, we only got 2 home meets.
That's scary.
I can't believe how quick it's going. So, you know, there's nothing sweeter than winning on your own turf against Bama.
Right now, we've got some pre-meet presentations, and the 1998 National Championship team, that perfect season for Georgia, they're being honored on the floor. It is 15 years since that 1998 championship, and also the 1993 team. It's obviously the 20th anniversary of their championship season. They were honored as well. We're going to have some videos later in our broadcast that commemorate both of those teams, so we're getting into the Alumni Day spirit as well. And we want to go ahead now and take a look at the vault lineup for Georgia. There are some lineup changes that merit discussing, but none on vault. Georgia is tied for 4th in the nation on vault, and this lineup is pretty much lock solid right now. Chelsea Davis, Sarah Persinger, Lindsey Cheek, Brittany Rogers, Kat Hires, and Brandy J for Georgia. Alabama will open on bars, and the Alabama bars lineup, Caitlin Clark will lead off the meet. Becca Alexin will be second. Kim Jacob third. Sarah DeMeo 4th, Ashley Sledge 5th, and Ashley Priest 6th. Alabama ranked in the top 10 in all 4 events. Georgia in the top 10 in 3 events, still carrying that low floor score with them from that first meet of the season against Oklahoma. But you've got 2 teams that are really starting to round into form. I think that Alabama has to feel like they have not had their big coming out meet yet, and Georgia perhaps hoping that it's not today at their expense. And Georgia, I think, feels like they've left some on the table, especially last week at Metroplex, a good score, but there were a lot of tenths left out there last weekend that they're hoping to clean up today at home.
Absolutely, and we've got Noelle Couch back on 2 events, which is super exciting. I know she can't wait to be back out there. She was just chomping at the bit. She said all week, it's Bama week. Like, it's game time. So she's just such a fighter and wants to get out there on all 4 so bad. But, you know, we got to take her slow and get her back into it easy.
I kind of buried the lead there, yes. Noelle Couch is back, and she will be back on beam and floor today. No all-arounders for either team. We are ready to get this one underway. Saturday afternoon in Athens, and Chelsea Davis, the sophomore out of Austin, Texas, will get us started as she has each and every meet this season on vault. Chelsea approaches the table. Yurchenko layout full. Great start there. Big, clean vault, hot back on the landing, but good distance, very aggressive way to start the day.
She's just such a strong lead-off on vault, and she gets a lot of pop, a lot of rise, and she's finding her landings week after week.
Chelsea Davis gets Georgia off to a good start, and up to Caitlin Clark to try to do the same for Alabama, as she will lead off for the Crimson Tide on bars.
Caitlin mounts the bar, good cast handstand. Toe and toe off into a shaposh. Good shoot over. Back up to the high bar. Oh, and casts over. Takes an extra swing, and unfortunately is off. And that's not a good way to start, unfortunately.
No, so the pressure will be on Alabama right from the get-go there.
You got to give it to her, going really big for those handstands. We're getting towards the end of the season. You got to try to start crisp and getting those little things worked out.
Meanwhile, the score has come up for Chelsea Davis. It is a 9.85, so huge number. That is a season high for her and a great way for Georgia to begin. And Alabama, they've got the personnel to do it with their next 5, so I don't think they're going to be too daunted by the pressure right now. But again, not quite the big jolt of momentum that you want to start your day with.
Good full twisting double layout. And unfortunately, it's not the way you want to start, but like you said, they got a good back 5 to rally around.
Sarah Persinger up second for Georgia. Season high 9.825. Sarah approaches the table. Yurchenko layout full. Another great vault. Little hop back on the landing. Not quite the distance that Chelsea Davis got, but good, clean vault once again, and a fine start for Georgia.
Yeah, she's getting a lot of height in there, and it's just good to see her. Like, we've had just such a consistent vault lineup all year, so it's great to see. Like you said, it seems pretty locked right now.
Yeah, Georgia, statistically, their best event is bars, where they are ranked second in the country, but tied for fourth on vault. And like you said, I think the consistency, it was there from the first meet of the year, and it really hasn't wavered at all. Numbers here for Sarah Persinger. We've got a 9.8 on the far side and a 9.85 on the near side. So she'll match her season high, going 9.825. So Georgia 2 for 2 season highs to start the day. Not a bad place to be. That's Chelsea Davis and Sarah Persinger, two sophomores, getting Georgia started there. We're waiting on the scores from Caitlin Clark. And that will be a 9.275 for Alabama. And obviously that is what the Crimson Tide will look to throw out. And they'll turn to Becca Alexin, Kim Jacobs, Sarah DeMeo, and then the Ashleys, Sledge and Priest to try to do just that. So here is Becca Alexin.
Becca gets things rolling. Good tack salto back down to the low bar. Nice handstand pirouette. And back up to the high bar. Handstand looked good. Blindfold looked a little short. Double tuck. Little step on the landing. Two little steps on the landing, but it's a hit. It's good to get that other score possibly thrown out.
You can see she's got that big knee brace a la Chelsea Davis, and I imagine that is just as tough for her as it is for Chelsea. Lindsey Cheek up third for Georgia. A local favorite, Watkinsville native, always getting a big ovation, and ready to go here third for the Gym Dogs. Lindsey's vault, Yurchenko layout, full, stuck landing, great vault.
I don't know what really to say about that. I mean, you'd like to see it go what we think it's going to go, but it's too early, I'm thinking.
She has been right there. What you've seen, if that's the first Lindsey Cheek vault you've seen this year, you've gotten a feeling for how her year is gone. A stray chant or two for a 10 there over our shoulder. 9.95 on the far side. What do we got on the near side? 9.9, so it'll go 9.925. And that will be her season high as well. 3 for 3 for Georgia. Now we go over to bars for Kim Jacob.
Kim Jacob has a great routine going so far. Back up to the high bar. Cass Hansen looks a little short. She winds up for her dismount. Double layout and takes a chest down, step forward. Good routine.
Becca Alexin had a 9.825 for Alabama after the fall from Clark. Georgia 3 for 3 season highs. Can we make it 4 for 4 with Brittany Rogers? Brittany, the reigning SEC Freshman of the Week. First of 3 events today for Georgia. Yurchenko layout 1.5 and plants it just a little pop-up on that landing, but another huge vault. That looked very much like what she did at Metroplex last week, and she is really, really coming into her own on vault.
Yeah, our freshmen are really just getting it done. Look at this replay. I mean, maybe a little shift.
People are going to bury me on the internet if I call that a stuck landing. So she took a little step. I'm going to incur the wrath of the message board, but it's a great vault nonetheless. It's a huge 1.5, and it's going to be another big number for Georgia. 9.9. We are 4 for 4 in season highs on vault. 9.625 for Kim Jacob. This is Sarah DeMeo.
Good swing half. Line change into her release move of a Jaeger. Very nice. Good handstand. Shoot over maybe looked a little short. Great last handstand. As Sarah gets ready for her dismount. Huge double layout. Maybe a little hop on the landing, but that's going to be a big number. We've
got 2 vaults left for Georgia. Kat Hires and Brandy J. 4 for 4 now in season highs. Kat Hires would love to make it 5 for 5 for the Gym Dogs. Can she keep the mojo going early here? Kat Yurchenko layout full. A little step back there, but another big vault from Kat Hires. Georgia in fine shape here in this first rotation. Looks like that went 9.875 for DeMeo. It did. And Alabama will look for some big numbers here from Ashley Sledge and Ashley Priest. You've got two veterans at the back half of this bars lineup, and this will be Ashley Sledge.
Ashley mounts the bar, holds on to that cat's handstand. Line change front giant to an enormous Ginger. Great handstand. And shoot her back down to the low bar. She's just such an awesome bar worker. And held on to another handstand. You got to give them credit for going for those handstands, though.
Wow.
Monster.
Wow.
Double layout.
Goodness.
I mean, I think she was like doing the second flip above the bar.
Wow.
From where we are, at least.
That's huge. Yeah, that's an impressive release.
To me, that looks like an anchor position, but
we'll have one more with Ashley Priest. And on vault for Georgia, we've got Brandy J finishing things up. Already a great vault rotation and can only get better here. Brandy Yurchenko layout 1.5, and she sticks it!
Holy mackerel!
There it is! You've been calling that one for weeks, Cassidy, and she delivers big time. What a finish there! Woo!
Fantastic!
The Georgia freshman.
She even threw her head back.
Yeah. Brandy J was SEC Freshman of the Week 2 weeks ago. It was Brittany Rogers this past week, and we're going to see a big number here. 9.95 for Brandy J. That's a season and career high for the freshman. And it's a 49.475 for Georgia on vault. And this Stegman Coliseum capacity crowd is getting awfully loud right now. 9.775 for Ashley Sledge on bars. And Ashley Priest will go last year for Alabama on bars.
Ashley mounting the bar. Good Kipkas handstand. Toe and toe off. Big Tkachev right back into a pack salto and kind of has to muscle that a little bit, but hangs on just fine. Good last handstand. And winding up. Double layout, step back. And again, not the Alabama bars that we've seen, but they're such powerhouses on the rest of events that I'd expect nothing less of them to be right in the mix of things.
We are going to have an exhibition, it looks like, before we send this to our first break. And we'll get some exhibitions on the next three events for Georgia. I believe we're going to see bars, beam, and floor exhibitions for the Gym Dogs. So we'll have a moment here before we take a break. Scores coming up there for Ashley Priest, a 9.85 in Georgia with a substantial lead at the end of one rotation. We'll give you those scores in a moment, but we'll carry this exhibition routine live here.
In exhibition for Alabama on the bars, this is Carly Sims.
Sims here for Alabama. We're ready to go.
Sims gets her routine going. Good blind full. Do a big Tkachev. Gets that handstand all the way up. Nice shoot over. And blind full to a double tuck. Little step on the landing, but it's so good to get out here in front of Stegman, these fans. We got a bunch of fans. Not as much as Alabama, but, you know, it's still still good to get out in front of these fans.
Because the building doesn't hold as much. It would be a fire code violation if we tried to put 15,000 in here. But yeah, Coleman Coliseum, you got to figure that the intimidation factor of Stegman isn't necessarily quite what it is for some other schools coming in here. But intimidation or not, what a start. Georgia with 5 out of 6 season highs on vault. A 49.475 for Georgia at the end of one rotation. 48.950 for Alabama. There are the scores. Chelsea Davis, 9.85. Sarah Persiker, 9.825. Lindsay Cheek, 9.925. The freshman, Brittany Rogers, 9.9. Brandy J, 9.95. And Kat Hires in there with a 9.85 as well. 49.475 on vault for Georgia. 48.950 for Alabama. So the Gym Dogs lead by over half a point at the end of one rotation. A lot of gymnastics left here at Stegman Coliseum. Alabama will head to vault, where they are as good as any team in the country. And Georgia will head to bars, where they are as good as any team in the country. So should be some big scores on the way in rotation number 2. As I mentioned, in between rotations, we'll take a look at some videos. We're going to honor the alumni of the 1993 and 98 championship teams a little bit later in our broadcast. But Georgia competing last week in Fort Worth, Texas. First time in program history that Georgia Gymnastics traveled to the Lone Star State, competing in the Metroplex Challenge, taking 4th place out of 5 teams, but scoring a very nice 196.775 on the road. So let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights from last week's Metroplex Challenge. Then we'll bring you back to Stegman Coliseum for rotation number 2. You're watching live video coverage of Georgia Gymnastics on GeorgiaDogs.com from IMG. Probably one of the best beam workers in the nation, currently competing 4th. She is up on the beam. Good beat jump, sheep jump combination. Brittany Rogers score a 9.725. For Shayla, back handspring layout, excellent. Full twisting back handspring. Split jump, gainer full dismount. Good finish there for Shayla, very nice routine, and Georgia has hit 4 of 4 on balance beam. 3.5 whip half stag. Good second pass for Krista. Krista taking a breath, ready for her final pass. Front layout, 1.5.
Phenomenal.
Great finish. Absolutely great routine from Krista yet again. Beautifully done.
Well, you learn becoming a veteran. Phenomenal front double full. Oh, that's so exciting. She's been working so hard on that pass.
Ready to finish up here. Final pass. Layout 1.5. Great routine for Shayla. Oh, big way to finish the second rotation for the Gym Dogs. Brittany approaches the table. Yurchenko layout, 1.5. Great stuck landing. Big vault, beautiful vault from Brittany Rogers. Brandy J ready to go. Brandy approaches the table. Yurchenko layout, 1.5. Little step backward on the landing. Again, such distance every time. Gets so much power coming off the table. Good way to finish up the vault rotation for Georgia.
That stick is coming. It's coming.
Here we go. 4th routine, Brittany Rogers. Beautiful Rikna. Good handstand. Really holding it on top of the high bar. Shoot over to handstand looks good. Uphill back to the high bar. Just a little bit over on that last handstand. Giant half in, half out. Step to the side on the landing. Overall, a good routine. Finishing the night for Georgia, Chelsea Davis. First handstand all the way up. Chelsea, an Austin, Texas native, so like Krista and like Katie, getting to compete here in her home state. This is the first ever trip the Georgia Gymnastics team to the state of Texas. Another good handstand for Chelsea. 2 giants. Half in, half out. Great landing, great way to finish the night.
For the flag featuring his coach coaching accomplishments and his years of service.
This is a great moment happening right here as we welcome you back inside Stegman Coliseum. Standing ovation, all 10,000 fans here on their feet to honor Doug McAvin, longtime assistant coach of Georgia Gymnastics, nearly 3 decades here in Athens, and big hug from his former coach, Suzanne Yocklin, from our current head coach, Dana Durante, some of the team coming over during the Bars Touch warm-up to give him a hug, and 10,000 fans on their feet. So many vaults that he coached brought this crowd to its feet, and so fitting for the man behind so much of that work. I know he was here all 4 years in your career, and one of those indelible shots that I think of when we think of Doug is you in 2008 here at Stegman Coliseum in the NCAA Championships, and coming down that runway and the big hug that you gave to, I just, that video always stands out to me. I always think about that one, and so great to see him out here and be honored. I'm sure you have fond memories of him as well.
Oh my gosh, Doug is so special to me and this program. I mean, he is so much of this program and still is. You know, he's still involved. He still comes into the gym, which is fantastic because he coached some of these girls down here. You know, so we still have a relationship with him, and we're going to continue that.
There was a tribute to him that played on the video board. I know that folks that are watching live didn't get to see it, but it ended with a quote from Suzanne Yocklin that said, "Doug is everything that's right with Georgia Gymnastics," and I think that probably in those couple of words says everything that needs to be said about him. What a great guy. It's just been it's been a privilege to work with him for as long as I got to. I'm sure for you a privilege to be coached by him. And this is Alumni Day. He is an alum of this program and certainly one of the all-timers. So very nice moment in between rotations here. You can see the scores after one rotation. Georgia 49-475 on vault. Alabama struggling on bars 48-950. Quickly, the bars lineup for Georgia. Lindsay Cheek will lead off. Krista Tonella will be second. Brandy J third. Brittany Rogers fourth. Shayla Worley fifth. And Chelsea Davis sixth. Just a little change in the order with Tonella moving up to second and Brandy J moving down to third. And we do actually have a change in the Alabama vault lineup. Caitlin Clark will be first. Lauren Beers will be second. Ashley Sledge has been taken out of the Alabama lineup. Kim Jacob will be in third. Kayla Williams is fourth. Marissa Gutierrez fifth. And Deandra Milliner will be sixth. So again, Kim Jacob, a late substitution here. Our sports information director, the best in the business, Ben Beatty, coming over to us in between rotations to inform us of that change. So those are the lineups for Alabama on vault and for Georgia on bars. And we'll get underway here in the second rotation with Caitlin Clark.
And Caitlin gets the okay. Caitlin approaching the table. Yurchenko full. Great landing. It's a good way to start off for Alabama on vault.
Yeah, she was the leadoff on bars and took that fall, but the exact opposite starting again. Alabama's so good on vault, they can make up that gap in a hurry. They've got some big vaulters coming as well. Georgia has been excellent on bars. They are second in the country. Big part of the reason why Lindsay Cheek, who's been so great in the leadoff role, her first handstand, perhaps a touch short. Line full, enormous Tkachev. Shoot over to handstand, little hitch there. Back up to the high bar. Two Giants, double layout. Great landing, great finish there for Lindsay Cheek.
She always seems to find that landing, you know, maybe not as crisp as handstands that we've always seen her do, but you know what? You see that exclamation point on the end, and it will still score good.
Caitlin Clark began with a 9-9 on vault. Anytime you're doing that, you are setting the table. And the rest of the competitors, Lindsay Cheek, her score comes up quick. It's a 9-8 for Georgia. Now, Lauren Beers.
Lauren Yurchenko, 1.5. A little squatty, takes it to the side. But that's a pretty big vault to have for a second up.
So again, I mentioned it just briefly, a change in lineup, if only in the order of personnel for Georgia. Krista Tonella moves up to second. Brandy J will move down to third. So you get back-to-back freshmen, Brandy J and Brittany Rogers in those 3-4 spots. And you've had Krista Tonella, who's had just a phenomenal season on both bars and floor, up second. This is a lineup that is positioned the way it is to score some big numbers. First handstand is right on top of the bar. Higgins turn. Yeager, very nice. Good handstand. Shoot over to handstand. Back up to the high bar. Last handstand looks good. Line full, immediate double tuck. Little hop forward on the landing. Great routine for Krista.
Fantastic job. She's just done such a great job all year long. We can't stop saying nothing but great things
That's
about
true.
her.
I know some folks have seen it, but in case you haven't, we have a really in-depth interview with her up. It was in the Gym Dog Show this past week and also on GeorgiaDogs.com, and really worth checking out. A little long, about 6 or 7 minutes, but Krista opens up in a way that few others have the ability to, and just very fascinating. Some good insight into what has been so good for her in her senior season. Back to vault.
Yurchenko full, little bounce on the landing, but a very solid vault.
And again, that's Kim Jacob, who was subbed in just moments ago after Ashley Sledge was taken out of the order. Krista Tonella scored a 9.825 and catching up on the Alabama vault scores after Caitlin Clark opened with a 9.9. Lauren Beers had a 9.775. That was that 1.5 that had the big step to the side on the landing. So Georgia has opened a little bit tentatively here on bars, 9.8 and 9.825, but got some potential for big scores left. And quickly here we get the vault score for Kim Jacob, 9.8 on the far side, 9.85 on the near side, so it'll be a 9.825. Here is the freshman, Brandy J. Handstand to the low bar, Shaposhnikova. Shoot over to handstand. Back up to the high bar. A little over there on that cast handstand. Giant full, good. Giant, half in, half out. And just took a step forward on the landing there, but fought through a little difficulty on the handstand and finished strong.
Absolutely. She's been great all year, too. You know, coming in as a freshman, it can be tough, and those adjustments can be tough, but you definitely demonstrated that Brittany Rogers and her back-to-back weeks, freshman of the week, I mean, big things are in store for them.
And Brandy J off to a fine start with a 9.95 on her vault, and she'll follow it with a 9.825 on bars. Back to vault, Kayla Williams.
Kayla approaches the table, 1.5, hop forward. But again, you want to see that hop going forward than going backwards.
Big 1.5 there, too. 3 left for Georgia on bars now. Brittany Rogers, Shayla Worley, and Chelsea Davis. We got 2 left for Alabama on vault, Gutierrez and Milner. Brittany Rogers mounts the high bar. First handstand. Perfect. Stalled her to Harikna. Beautiful again, as always. Reaching just a tiny bit on that handstand. Shoot over to handstand looks good. Back up to the high bar. Great handstand. Holding it there for that extra second. Giant half in, half out. Stuck landing. Big finish, big routine from Brittany Rogers.
I thought Phil was going to tackle her. Awesome job.
Oh, man. Yeah, she really, again, and I think what's great, and I keep using it as a reference point, Lindsay Cheek, because that's the last gymnast to come in right in January, and this was the part of the season where I think we started to see Lindsay struggle. She had that great first 4 weeks, then school hits, then everything hits. This is Brittany Rogers better than ever now in week 5, so that's very encouraging. That's great. And she will follow up her 9.9 on vault with a 9.9 on bars. Back to vault.
Marissa, Yurchenko full, little hop backwards, but big vault.
That was after a 9.85 from Kayla Williams. So these are good numbers here on vault for Alabama. And Georgia's doing their part to keep pace, getting their first 9.9 in the rotation from Brittany Rogers. And now you've got Shayla Worley and Chelsea Davis. I could really envision a scenario in which you've got Brittany Rogers there in that 5th spot by the end of the year. If the freshman continues to perform the way she has, I think that Rogers and Davis in that last 2 is going to be a real potent combination. And you've got Shayla Worley, who is excellent as well. So this is a great spot to be in. Meanwhile, a 9.9 for Marissa Gutierrez on vault. 2 9.9s already for Alabama. Here is Shayla Worley. Stand looks good. Clear hip. Shoot over to handstand. Very nice. Big Tkachev. Touch short on that handstand there. 2 giants. Double layout. Gonna step back on the landing. A good routine there from Shayla Worley. Alabama already with a 49.250 on vault, and they've got Deandra Milliner, who's always a threat to go big here.
Did she get a 10 last year?
She did.
That's what I thought.
She did indeed.
1.5, so hard to get a 10 on. And here it is, 1.5, a little step forward. Like you said, it's so big, it's so high.
Yeah, that's...
She has to add an extra 4 inches.
This is if you're watching at home, between these two teams, this has been a clinic on the Yurchenko layout 1.5. You got good ones on both sides of the aisle here from Georgia and Alabama. Fun to watch, some big vaults. Speaking of clinics, Chelsea Davis has been as good as anyone on the uneven bars. She has won the bars title every meet so far this season. 9.95 last week at Metroplex. Her first handstand is a good one. Tkachev. Good handstand. Toe on, toe off handstand. Beautiful. Shoot over to handstand. Back up to the high bar. Two giants. Half in, half out. Stuck landing, and what a way for Chelsea Davis to bring us to the halfway point. She does it again.
That was the perfect point, a clinic. She really is a clinic when it comes to bars.
It was just like watching Kat Ding last year. You knew you were going to see just a beautiful, clean, flawless in some cases bars routine, and we see the same thing with Chelsea Davis here. Scores come up awfully quick. 9.925 for Chelsea Davis, so it'll be a fraction off of her season high, and she's in that Kat Ding rarefied air where you know it's the starting point feels like a 9.9 every week. Deandra Milliner finished with a 9.9 on vault. We've got an exhibition vault here from Alabama.
Handspring front pike half. Very nicely done.
And I believe we will also see an exhibition bars routine here for Georgia.
Maybe not.
Looking at how Georgia did on bars, they continue their fine bar scores. 49.275, not the highest this year, but putting them right where they want to be. And Alabama makes up some ground with a good vault, 49.375 there.
They just need to go to beam, and just really just be confident. I mean, they've worked so hard in the gym on this event specifically, and getting Noelle Couch back in is huge for them. Just having that consistent number. It doesn't have to be a 9.9 every time, but something is going to hit, and she's that person.
Oh, we've got the Noelle Couch factor in the beam lineup when Georgia heads there in rotation 3. We're very, very excited to see the debut for the Georgia senior, and Georgia's coming off of their season high on beam at Metroplex, so perhaps they'll keep the great day going here. At the midway point, Georgia has a lead. Alabama has cut into it slightly. You see the numbers here, 98.750 for Georgia, 98.325 for Alabama. Georgia on a season-high pace, and Alabama right on their heels. So we will head to rotation number 3 when we come back. Georgia will be on beam. Alabama will be on floor. As I mentioned, this is Alumni Day for Georgia, and our next 2 breaks here in between rotations, we are going to revisit some of the championship years, the championship teams that were honored on the floor prior to the meet, and now we're going to turn back the clock to 1993. Georgia captured their 3rd NCAA title, and we're going to take a look back as Suzanne Yacklin narrates this revisiting the 20th anniversary of the 1993 NCAA championship team. You're watching live video coverage of Georgia Gymnastics on GeorgiaDogs.com from IMG.
The 1993 championship team was our best ever gymnastically. That team was in a league of their own from the very beginning of the season. Now, you had to remember, a couple years prior to 1993, we were ranked number 1, and it had slipped through. We just were not able to put it together. So the emotion had been building, the pressure of winning a championship had been building, and the team was really on a mission. And we were really led by the emotion and the leadership of Heather Stepp, who had had an injury the year before, had been sidelined for the season because of a serious injury to her elbow and came back as one of our 3 seniors, along with Sandy Rolette and Jennifer Carbone, to lead our team throughout the season. And it was a year where leadership really made a difference, and we learned as coaches the importance of that leadership and that team unity to winning a championship, because this was a team of great athletes that just got better and better and better.
In 1987 and 1989, Suzanne Jokelin's Gym Dogs were seeded 5th before surprising everyone with their first-place finishes in the NCAA championships. In 1993, however, Georgia entered the NCAA's a solid favorite after an undefeated season. And true to form, the Gym Dogs did not disappoint.
Georgia was the team that everyone was after in 1993. From the very beginning of the season, from the first competition, we were the best team in the country. We had Olympians on our team. We had explosive gymnasts. We had power. We had finesse. We had style. We had class. We had so much depth on every single event. And everyone knew that no one could beat Georgia except for Georgia themselves. And this team was not going to let that happen.
Heather Stepp, Hope Spivey, Agina Simpkins, and Sandy Rolette would each earn All-American honors on 3 events, while 7 Gym Dogs overall earned All-American status. Stepp was the NCAA champion on vault as well as floor exercise, where she scored a perfect 10. Simpkins was NCAA champion on the uneven bars, also with a score of perfect 10. The Gym Dogs became the first team ever to post a 198.0 team score in the NCAA tournament, as they completed their perfect season with a dominating effort. It was the 3rd national championship for Suzanne Jokelin's teams in 7 years, and will go down as one of the best teams, not only in Georgia, but in NCAA history.
Fans, please welcome the 2013 recipient of the Gym Dog Distinguished Alumni Award, Jenny Becker Hutchins.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp and Cassidy McComb. We want to thank you so much for making us a part of your Saturday afternoon here on GeorgiaDogs.com. There are the scores at the end of rotation number 2. Georgia, a healthy 98.750 on a 197.5 pace. Alabama 98.325. Right now on the big board, the Gym Dog Alumni of the Year is Jenny Beathard, honoring her from those championship teams in 98 and 99. We are continuing the Alumni Day festivities, and so great to see we have the tribute to Doug McGavin in between rotations number 1 and number 2, and here we get Jenny Beathard honored as well, and I believe we'll have one more presentation in between beam and floor as well. So great to see all the alums back, and great to see Jenny Beathard get honored.
It's amazing, like how long ago it seems, but really it doesn't, and you come back 10, 15 years later and you get more awards still. It's like you're not doing anything.
That'll be you in 2023 or whatever.
Who knows where I'll be.
We'll still be on the air, and you'll take a break and go down there.
All right, sounds good.
Well, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule here. I do want to make one important note as we look at the schedule ahead. We are headed to Lexington, Kentucky this coming Friday. Do you have your movies for the bus ride ready to go, loaded up on the iPad yet?
You know what's funny is because Russell told me, he goes, I got a gift for you, for the girls, and he got like, I don't know, 5 DVDs for each girl or something like that. You know, so he's got them all set.
There you go. There you go. Well, we're looking forward to that bus ride to Kentucky, and we're back at home in 2 weeks from today. That will be against Florida, 4 o'clock p.m., 2 back-to-back weekends on the road at Missouri and at LSU. The last meet of the year is not terribly far away. Saturday, March 9th, 6 o'clock p.m. That is senior night against Utah. We are at NC State on St. Patrick's Day, and then the SEC Championship. Once the SEC Championship gets into this graphic, you know we're getting close to crunch time. That is Saturday, March 23rd. In yellow there at the bottom, want to make special note, the Georgia Gym Dog Show. We want to thank you if you've been watching it this year. It airs every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. This coming Wednesday is National Signing Day for football. We are bumped to Thursday at 3:30 p.m. No respect. So Thursday at 3:30 p.m. So if you need to reset your DVRs or leave work early that day, do it. It'll be in keeping with the alumni theme. That is an all alumni alumni episode of the Georgia Gym Dog Show, we got to talk to Suzanne Yocklin, Karen Litchie-Usry, Heather Stepp McCormick, Katie Heenan-Dodson, Courtney Coupette. So that's going to be a fun show. Check that out Thursday at 3:30 p.m. or anytime Thursday on GeorgiaDogs.com. Move now to the beam lineup for Georgia, and here is the much-anticipated return of Noelle Couch. She will be third in the lineup. Lindsey Cheek will hang on to that leadoff spot where she's been so good this year for Georgia. Sarah Persinger will be second. Noelle Couch third. Brittany Rogers fourth. Shayla Worley fifth. And Kaylin Earls sixth. Georgia coming off of a season-high 49.075 last week at Metroplex. And Alabama on floor. Sarah DeMeo first. Brooke Parker second. Ashley Sledge third. Marissa Gutierrez fourth. Kim Jacob fifth. And Deandra Milliner will be sixth. Alabama, as in keeping with their performance on vault, always a great tumbling team, always fun to watch on floor. And again, Georgia by no means has this one locked up. They've built a substantial lead on the strength of their vaulting in rotation number one with a season best 49.475, and trying to keep it going here on beam. This feels like the story each and every week at home. We've seen great vault, great bars. Can you keep it going third on beam?
We're gonna conquer this beam demon that's whatever, whoever's creating it. And we may be creating it, I don't know. But they're going to get over it. Every year,
even I go back to 08. That 08 team, which was one of the best teams probably ever assembled here, struggled on beam at the beginning of the year. And then I think it was at the national championship, it was fitting that the final rotation was beam. Either that or we started on beam. My memory is going on that, but ended on beam. And so, it works out that way. Last year's team took a while to get there on floor, and by the end of the year, they were a top 5 floor team. So feels like every year you've got that one event that just is a little late coming around, and any day can be your next big performance of the year, and we'll see if that is today. We've got Lindsey Cheek on the beam. Grateful turn. Back handspring layout, and a fall from Lindsey Cheek. Oh, that beam demon may live for another week. We'll see. Now, Lindsey will finish up here, and all of a sudden, Sarah Persinger will be up second. She's got her eyes closed. She's got her back turned. She's getting focused, and we'll just need her and 5 more. Alabama overcame a fall from Caitlin Clark on bars to start the day. Great side aerial. And the fans still get loud for the moonwalk. Good combination there for Lindsey. Cat leap, gainer full. Good landing. As you said, the pressure is on, and Alabama can hear the sound of a door opening as they get to start on floor now with Sarah DeMeo.
Sarah gets her routine going with a little maroon 5. And first pass. Double pike. I think she stayed in bounds. I didn't see a green flag.
Yeah.
Lifted that front foot up. And second pass. Round off 1.5 front layout. Beautifully done. And Sarah getting ready for her last pass. Two and a half. Very tough pass to end with. Great landing. And besides that little mishap on the first pass, that was an awesome routine.
And really big to stay in there, too, save that 10th. And update from our sports information director, Ben Beatty, during that floor routine. Laura Lee Frost is going to be in for Ashley Sledge on floor, so it looks like probably something happened in warm-ups there. And hope that she's okay, and that is nothing serious that will last beyond today. Back to beam now. Georgia with a fall in that first spot from Lindsay Cheek. Sarah Persinger up second. Full turn with her leg horizontal. Front aerial twiddle jump. (9-8) the score for DeMeo. Back handspring layout. Great job there by Persinger.
You got to give Sarah credit for getting up there, and really it looks like she's just going so aggressive. And I've even watched her in practice, and she just doesn't watch routines ahead of her. I mean, it would be hard not to know that someone fell ahead of you being in Stegman.
Right.
But she's so in the zone no matter what position she's going in that some people don't want to watch what's ahead of you.
Kind of in a way on beam, you want 6 people that are leading off in a way. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not quite one of those events that accrues momentum the way that vault and bars and even floor do. Sarah's got a great routine going here. Ready for her dismount. Round off 1.5. Sticks it. Great routine. When Georgia needed it most today, and she's got a big, well-deserved smile on her face.
And the sophomore delivers. That's fantastic. You know, got to get them back on track, and sometimes all it takes is just one routine to get you back in the groove of things.
You're not going to, wire 24 for 24 and beat Alabama. Things like that don't come that easy. You've got to earn it, and Georgia took a big step there with Persinger hitting. Still 4 more to go. We'll go back to floor now for Brooke Parker.
And Brooke's first pass. Round off double Arabian. Very nicely done.
Always going to see some big skills when you see Alabama.
And second pass. Round off full in. She must not like back handsprings very much. Front through, do a round off full, bounces out of it a little bit. Routine going so far. See if she can close it out with this last pass. Round off double pike. Beautiful landing. Really no back handsprings in there, which is very interesting. Sometimes it's a wrist injury. Sometimes it's not being very good at back handsprings, so you never know.
She made it work. Fine floor routine for her. And now one of the most highly anticipated routines of 2013. Big ovation as the Stegman Coliseum crowd welcomes Noelle Couch, the senior, still with that thumb taped up. She injured in the preseason. This is her first routine of her senior year. Back handspring layout, great. Front toss, excellent. Great full turn.
It's so great to see her back up there.
Georgia is going to become a different team when she is back 100%.
Yep, just taking it week by week and getting x-rays done and trying to just get cleared.
Back handspring, double full. Stuck landing in her first routine back. What a way to begin your senior season, right?
Absolutely. You know she wanted to be out there so bad, but, I mean, it's like she didn't miss a beat.
Every week before the meet, her dad comes over to talk to me, and he uses the same term. I say, how's Noelle doing? He uses the same term every time. He says she's like a caged animal wanting to get out. And he came over today, and he said she's out of the cage, and she sure is. How about that? What a great routine. We're going to go back over to floor now. This is Laura Lee Frost in for sledge.
Big double layout. Great way to start off the routine.
9.875 for Noelle Couch. Asking too much for that 9.9 in her first routine back. Well, it's a season.
Hey, we'll take it.
It's a season high.
Way to look at the positive. Front layout.
I don't believe I ever said Sarah Persinger's score. She had a 9.85 for Georgia, so the Gym Dogs have come roaring back after the fall from Cheek.
And switch side double stag. Nicely done. Substitute in.
Yeah, how about that when that's your 7th person in the lineup? Not a lot of teams have a double layout buried 7 deep in their floor order. Goodness.
They were just saving it, maybe.
Goodness. Back on beam now, Brittany Rogers. If you didn't listen along in Metroplex last week, or even if you did, this will be your first chance to see the reworked beam routine for Brittany Rogers, and I think she looked still like she was feeling it out a little bit last week, but again, expecting big things as she goes along here. Cat leap, switch leap combination. For Rogers. A little unforced error coming out of it, unfortunately. Full turn with her leg horizontal. Beautifully done. Key is just don't let those mistakes pile up. Full twisting back handspring twiddle jump. Another stuck landing. We're sounding like a broken record today as Georgia continues to hit dismounts and doing it on beam too, which hasn't always been there this year.
You know what? They worked on it a lot this week, and beam was just a really big focus this week, but Dana has really just kind of gotten into their minds that really there's no distractions, and you know, you can't let one thing let the whole beam rotation just spiral.
We've got a formidable last two standing between Georgia and not counting that fall on beam, Shayla Worley and Kaylin Earls. We'll go back to floor now after a 9.85 for Laura Lee Frost. This is Marissa Gutierrez.
Another big double layout, manages to keep that front foot down. Switch ring to wolf full.
speaking of broken record, it's a new season high for Brittany Rogers, 9.875 on beam.
She's really blossoming into a Georgia competitor. You know, she's got the whole Olympic background, but the college is so much different.
And, we saw that one big wobble kind of in the middle of nowhere, coming off of the Rogers skill into getting kind of just back upright. And, if that's a 10th there, it goes to show you how good the rest of the routine was.
And Marissa's last pass, get a deep breath in. Round up by handspring, double pike. Great landing again. Alabama looking pretty solid on floor.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing two teams that are probably both going to, if this continues, walk out of here saying we had our best meet of the year. And that's what you want when you get number 5 and number 8 out on the floor together. And Georgia has built up some momentum here. Sarah Persinger, 9.85. Noelle Couch and Brittany Rogers, 9.875. Here's Shayla Worley. She feels overdue for a 9.9 as it's been 3 whole weeks for her. Started off the year with back-to-back 9.9s. Gutierrez, a 9.9 on floor for Alabama. Twiddle jump, sheep jump. Great combination for Shayla. Back handspring layout, just gorgeous. Great full turn. Full twisting back handspring. Having a great routine here. Split jump. There, gainer full. Another great one there for Shayla.
You know what? This team has rallied back from a fall. Beam has been their toughest event. I mean, you got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, this has been, the pressure was on, and, you like to see how a team responds to pressure, and that answer hasn't been always perfect this year for Georgia, but by and large, we have praised the competitive nature of this team, and they're showing why today. And they're feeling the heat right now from Alabama. The Tide having a great rotation on floor. This is Kim Jacob up 5th of 6.
And pike pull in, pretty much sticks that.
Wow.
Didn't even need to make that lunge.
Wow. 9.875 for Shayla. 3 in a row now for Georgia. Not able to crack that 9.9 barrier.
Famous words from Suzanne Yocklin. She always used to say to us, you need 9.9s, but really you need a bunch of 9.875s. I don't know why, but I listened to her. And, it's higher than a 9.85. So
there you go.
I need to ask her what that logic was about.
It'd be a 197.5 if everybody did that. So you can win a national championship on all 9.875s. That's, you count 20 9.875s. It's a 197.5.
Yeah. And you get some 9.9s thrown in there. No matter what team you are, I'd say that's pretty good.
There you go.
And 1.5 front full. It's going to be a big number for Alabama.
And still with 1 to go, DeAndre Milliner. Alabama bringing the house on floor right now as we expected they would.
Back on balance spin to wrap up competition on beam for the Georgia Gym Dogs. Kaylin Earls.
Here is Kaylin Earls. She has had an excellent season as the beam anchor for Georgia. I wasted no time. 9.95 for Kim Jacob. Kaylin Earls, her series. Back handspring layout. Excellent.
We're at the perfect angle to see that smile on her face as she's coming out of that layout.
Big leap combination there for Kaylin as well. Side aerial, very good.
She's just a rock up there.
Yeah.
You just know what you're going to get.
If you've got Shayla Worley in your beam lineup and she's not the anchor, that speaks volumes about who is, and it shows you why she has this spot. She's had it, I think, every meet this year, and boy, she has just been in the zone. Ready for a dismount. And a double top.
Oh! Stop landing! I'm sorry if I just hurt everyone's ears, because that was so exciting.
Wow. That sends a jolt through this Coliseum crowd. Not only will Georgia not count the fall on beam, they will have by far their highest beam score of 2013. Kaylin Earls, I think that is only the second stuck landing in her career. She stuck one at Florida last year. And that will start up the UGA chant in earnest. This Coliseum is getting loud right now.
Feels like NCAA's a little bit.
9.95 on the far side. What do we have over here? A 9.95 for Kaylin Earls. This crowd is getting on its feet for a career high.
All rallied back from after that fall.
Georgia had their season high was a 49.075, and they just went 49.425 on beam, and you can't even hear the floor music.
Oh, beautiful double radiant, though.
Let's turn our attention now to Deandra Milliner, and then we'll talk some more about beam.
Getting ready for her second pass. Front layout, front full. Nicely done. She's just such a powerhouse. So fun to watch her tumbling. All of Alabama's girls, really, though. They've always been stacked with big first passes, E-level passes.
Yeah. I like floor because there's so many different ways to go about it. You can get a 9.9 a number of different ways, and
you can have pretty dance. You can have those dance elements that get you, and a beautiful double pike to finish off Alabama's floor rotation. It's a great competition tonight.
The thing I love most about this is Georgia is being given absolutely nothing.
No.
Alabama is probably going to walk out of here with their season high, and this is just two of the absolute best teams in the country slugging it out. This is why you came to Georgia. This is why all the alums that are in the building came to. I mean, this is Alabama and Georgia through the ages. This is what it's supposed to look like. We're getting just a vintage SEC grudge match here today. We will get a beam exhibition before we take a break here. Another 9.95. Jacob and Milliner 9.95s back-to-back for a 49.475 on floor for Alabama, but Georgia was right there with a 49.425 on beam. So they only made up half a tenth, did the Crimson Tide, because of that great beam from Georgia. Here is Whitney Kirby to exhibition.
Beautiful flip-flop layout. Whitney did a great job last weekend stepping in that sixth position at Metroplex Challenge. It's good to just get some more experience out there. And cat leap, switch leap into her gainer layout, and manages to stay on. That foot looked like it shifted. Great full turn. And Witt's got a great routine going. Getting ready for her dismount. We'll round off 1.5. Step forward with a solid routine for Whitney. That's awesome to get out there.
Absolutely. Great to see her out there and keep hitting. And we're going to get a floor exhibition as well. This is Lauren Beers. Saw her on vault earlier today with a 9.775.
Gymnastics first pass. Right off back handspring, big double tuck. Looks like that may be an upgrade at some point for how high that was. And second pass, front layout, front full. Very nice. Switching to a Georgia half. And third and final pass. Double pike. Lands a little bit low, but recovers nicely. And a good exhibition, if I can speak, routine for Alabama.
Keep in mind that would be 8 deep in the lineup because Sledge was taken out of the original lineup. Laura Lee Frost was put in. So Alabama showcasing some of their depth on floor exercise. And here we go. 2 big scores in that third rotation. Alabama 49-475 on floor, and Georgia absolutely shattering their season high on beam, going 49-425. And here are your scores at the end of 3 rotations. 148-175 for Georgia, leading Alabama by nearly 4/10. The Crimson Tide at 147.8. Now Georgia in the driver's seat looking for their first win over Alabama since 2009. Can they get it done? We're going to take one final break and come back as Georgia will move to floor and Alabama to beam. We honor the 1993 championship team. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary. We did that earlier today, and now we're going to take a look back at another magical season in Georgia gymnastics history, the perfect national championship season of 1998. And then we'll bring you back for the final rotation. You're watching live video coverage of Georgia gymnastics on GeorgiaDogs.com from IMG.
The Gym Dogs would begin the team competition on the uneven bars, and Sam Muehlman got them off to a great start.
There's a giant full. She's going to go right into her release move. Right here, a Jaeger flip, very nicely done. She has a big dismount. She'll do a double back off with a full twist on the first flip. An excellent landing.
After the first rotation, Georgia had the lead, but next it would move to the beam, a place a year earlier that had been very costly. 1998, however, would be as good as it gets on the beam for the Gym Dogs.
Watch this, don't blink. Gainer double twist.
Georgia left the beam still a solid number 1 and pulling away as it moved to the floor exercise, where both Julie Ballard and Kim Arnold would come up strong.
Her first pass is a double pike back.
Kim Arnold, the top-ranked floor performer in the country.
She's a lot of fun to watch. She's very spunky. Watch here, double laid out backflip. Amazing.
As they moved to the final routine, the vault, the national championship was the Dogs to win. And as they had all season, they responded.
And here's Kathleen Shreves.
She'll vault a Yurchenko with a half twist in a laid out position. A great start.
The Georgia Gym Dogs on the verge of capturing their second title of the 90s. Kim Arnold.
And she is more than capable of coming up with a huge score. Very dynamic vaulter. Sukahara in a laid out position with a full twist.
And that should do it. A good score here will clinch it for Georgia.
As Karen Litchie lined up for her vault, the Gym Dogs were preparing to celebrate.
She does a very difficult vault. Pike front with a half twist. Normally very explosive.
Oh! Karen Litchie making sure there is no doubt who the champions are here in Pauley Pavilion.
Litchie's 10-0 vault was a perfect end to a perfect season, and it gave the Gym Dogs their 4th national championship. All in all, for the 1998 Gym Dogs, it was as good as it gets. A perfect season and a 4th NCAA championship. And as they celebrated, no one said it better than the Gym Dogs themselves.
All right, thanks, Wendy. Julianne.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kopp and Cassidy McComb with you inside Stegman Coliseum. Got an instant classic on our hands here. Georgia, the number 8 team in the nation, and Alabama. There are the scores through 3 rotations. Georgia leading Alabama by .375. 148-175 for the Gym Dogs. 147.8 for Alabama. The Gym Dogs on the strength of a season-high 49.425 on balance beam, taking a big lead with them into this final rotation. Alabama did cut in by half a tenth with a great floor exercise, 49.475. It was January 23rd, 2009, the last day that Georgia beat Alabama. 7 straight losses for the Gym Dogs to the Crimson Tide, trying to turn that around today, needing a solid finish on floor. They've got Noelle Couchbag, who just wired a full in her warm-up.
I'm laughing at the guys with the lightsabers or whatever.
It didn't take long for folks to figure out. Yeah, I don't know if they've been bringing them every meet, just hoping that Noelle was going to compete. We'll get to that Star Wars connection in a bit. Let's give you the floor lineup for Georgia, and it's got a familiar sight at the end of it. That is Noelle Couch will be the floor anchor for the Gym Dogs. Kaylin Earls, on the strength of a career-high 9.95 on beam, will lead off on floor. Krista Tonella will be second. Sarah Persinger third. Brandy J fourth. Shayla Worley fifth, and Noelle Couch sixth. This is presumably the lineup that Georgia is going to have with them for the rest of the year on floor, and this is a really formidable 6 on floor. For Alabama on beam, Kayla Williams will lead off. Caitlin Clark will be second. Marissa Gutierrez third. Sarah DeMeo fourth. Ashley Priest fifth. And Kim Jacobs sixth. Beam has been statistically Alabama's weakest event so far this year. It's only been 3 meets, and they're still number 9 in the country. So they're top 10 in every event. They don't really have a pronounced weakness as a team. Georgia is currently ranked 16th on floor, still counting that low score, that 48 flat from the first meet against Oklahoma. We've come a long way from that, and Georgia wanting a big score, wanting to win over Alabama, and it's all out there in front of them right now.
You know, it just feels like a Georgia meet tonight.
Yeah.
It really has that energy, I don't even know how to describe it.
They're really, if you've been to Stegman Coliseum, you know what we're talking about, and if you haven't been, you probably don't. It really, I woke up this morning and felt different than I have any other day. You just know, it's Georgia and Alabama. You know it's going to be a big day.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep last night. I was just like, let's go.
Yeah.
I could do this tonight. Come on.
Now here we go. Georgia huddled up on the far corner of the floor in front of the student section, lightsaber wielding student section. But we will begin on beam, and we will have Kayla Williams up first for Alabama on balance beam.
And Kayla mounts a beam. Beautiful switch side. And punch front. Very nice. Feet jump to back handspring swing down. Swing downs definitely don't feel good, but it's a good way to not get a deduction. And Flight Series flip-flop layout looks really solid up there. Probably the reason why she is this beam team's lead off. And beat jump to a full twisting popa. A little bit of a wobble there. But that's really the only thing that she's had so far. Good full turn. And Kayla going for her dismount. Round off 1.5. She just saw that landing in the out of the full and drilled it into the mat.
Very well done. Great start for Alabama, and they will not go quietly into the night. You figure that Georgia has gotten Alabama's best shot all day, and that will likely continue. Alabama's season high is a 196.575. They look extremely likely to bust through that mark. Georgia trying to do the same. And Kaylin Earls getting ready for her first pass, leading off for Georgia on floor. A great start for Georgia on the first pass.
It's nice to see Harry Dog in the corner over there, giving you a little bit extra encouragement.
Second pass for Kaylin. Front layout 1.5, excellent. Kayla Williams 9-8 to open for Alabama. Huge leaps there from Kaylin. Excellent routine going here.
I love how she sells this. Really gets her face into it. Getting that student section going.
Crowd making some noise behind her, getting ready for her third pass. Round off back handspring, double tuck, sticks it dead! What a finish from Kaylin Earls! And that is how you start the final rotation.
We'll take that.
She's gotten the two biggest rounds of applause of the day, I think, sticking the beam and then just killing it on floor. Wow, what a day.
Fantastic.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to have a sore throat tomorrow, just to let you
know. No doubt about it. Back on beam, trying to block out that applause from the Stegman crowd. Caitlin Clark. It is a 9.875 for Kaylin Earls.
Good beat jump. Sheep jump. And Kaylin's flight series flip-flop layout. Very nice. And one-legged front to a beat jump. Caitlin looking really steady up there. Good full turn. And just a dismount left. Round off 1.5 step forward, but a beautiful routine.
Yeah, Alabama's been excellent through their first two as well. Krista Tanella up second for Georgia on floor. Krista's first pass starting with a big double pike. She had her first ever 9.9 on floor last week at Metroplex. Was right into her second pass. Off 1.5, whip half, big stag, another great combination, and first two passes out of the way and looking good.
Beautiful cat double. Her leaps are just so awesome to watch. She just gets so much height and amplitude.
Caitlin Clark, by the way, matched Kayla Williams with a 9.8. So 9.8, 9.8 start for Alabama on beam. Crowd clapping along to the Call Me Maybe interlude here for Krista. You got 10,000 fans behind you today, all the way up to the last row.
And I'm telling you, at the end of your routine, you need them. About right now. But she's been so lights out on floor. No matter what arena, she's hit it.
Front layout, 1.5. Excellent finish. Excellent routine for Krista. And the Gym Dogs keep rolling along. This crowd is unlike anything we've heard this year as well. They've been on top of it. They've been responsive. They've been attentive. And it's always great crowds here at Georgia, but Alabama has probably brought out the best in the Georgia faithful. You get great teams in here like Oklahoma and Stanford, but nothing has the history of Georgia and Alabama. We do get Florida and Utah here later this year as well. Great home schedule. And we are back to beam now. Marissa Gutierrez.
And switch lead straddle quarter.
.987.5 for Tanella, matching Kaylin Earls.
And a nice front aerial bead jump. Flip-flop layout. Lift the leg a little bit, manages to stay on. It's all about staying on that beam. Good full turn. And hitch kick. Gainer full, stuck landing. Besides that series, that was a great routine.
Again, Alabama has been very solid on beam through their first three, but Georgia is not giving an inch on floor. Back-to-back 9.875s, and now Sarah Persinger up third for the Gym Dogs. Having a solid day, 9.825 vault, 9.85 on beam. That was one of the key routines of the entire day, was that 9.85 on beam after Lindsay Cheek's fall, and here she goes into her first pass. Front through to a double tuck. Came in perhaps a bit bent legs on that landing there. .9.825 comes up from Marissa Gutierrez on beam. Sarah getting ready for her second pass. Big double pike. Excellent.
Like you said, this floor lineup is really kind of getting into a rhythm, and getting Noelle back in here is just going to add a little bit of a spark, spice to it.
Yeah, this is huge. Noelle is going to make a difference in any lineup that she gets back into, and we certainly hope to see her back in the all-around. She holds the all-time Gym Dog record for consecutive all-arounds with 28, but probably on floor is where she's going to make the biggest contribution right away. Finishing with the Rudy. Excellent. Very well done.
This team has become so unified, so as one. You become selfless, and you do it for your team. And your gymnastics gets better because you don't worry so much about yourself. And I really feel like every individual girl has done that, and it shows out here on the floor.
It's such a likable team. It really is. And, you know, we get to be on the road with them. You get to be in the office with them each and every day. And just fun to be a part of, no doubt. 9.8 for Sarah Persinger on floor. We're back to beam now for Sarah DeMeo. Unique mount of the beam there.
And front aerial, a little wobble there. And series flip-flop layout, and unfortunately takes a fall. You hate to see that. Hopefully this will be a routine that they can drop out for them.
They've got Ashley Priest and Kim Jacob left. So, again, you've got some formidable competitors on beam there. Ashley Priest, season high 9.85, and then Jacob in that last spot, a season high 9.9. Georgia has not blinked, and they've made Alabama blink first in this final rotation. And this is the two-time defending national champion Crimson Tide we're talking about here, and Georgia's not backing down from the fight. I think that more than anything else today, is the most important thing that we're seeing. We've seen over the last couple of years, we've seen sometimes the pressure will get on you, and you know, Georgia's lost a lot of meets pretty. They've scored big in a lot of meets, but haven't come away with wins over Alabama, Florida, or Utah in a couple of years. And this is a team that I'm sure wants to rewrite that little bit of recent history, and they're poised to do so right now. We've got 3 floor routines left. If Georgia can hang on and secure a victory here on Alumni Day over the Crimson Tide, going to need the freshman Brandy J to step up. Brandy with a career-high 9.95 on vault earlier today. Ready to go, first pass. Big full out. First time competing it in front of the Stegman Coliseum crowd, getting to see that upgrade, and it's a beautiful first pass. Second pass, front double full, front tuck. Doing excellent right now.
This is what momentum feels like when you have one. It goes really high like Kaylin Earls. I mean, I feel like she started that from the balance beam. Kind of just kept on rolling with it.
Yeah.
And it becomes contagious.
I just keep thinking about these freshmen. I can't remember the last time we've had freshmen that looked less like freshmen.
Yes,
you know?
Absolutely.
And that personality carries over outside of the competition arena, too. Just look like they belong here, finishing with a huge double tuck. And Brandy J has put together what is likely her best floor routine of her young career. And Georgia will not back down today.
We got some people to their feet. Oh, cool.
I mean, you know the
so
student
cool.
section's going to be on their feet. You know they're going to be clapping along, but we're seeing it transit. You can't help but be in any part of this arena and feel what's going on right now on floor. Scores on floor come up quickly yet again, and it's a 9-9 for Brandy J.
See if Ashley Priest can get through this. All the loud crowd at the beginning. Sometimes rally your focus a little. And front aerial to back handspring swing down.
Priest was the one that finished up the national championship win last year for Alabama. Came down to the Crimson Tide and the Florida Gators. Alabama won it by 1/4 of a tenth, and it was Ashley Priest for that final routine.
And she's definitely a veteran for this team. I mean, been there for 2 national championships.
Like she's been
here forever,
years,
I feel like, you know, but I think she took a medical and things like that. But, you know, when you have veterans on your team that have won national championships, they know what it takes. And I really don't think we can count this Alabama team out in the slightest because they know how to win. And you have girls that know what it takes.
Yeah, Georgia will see this Alabama team once, twice, or 3 more times this year. You can bet on it. Great routine there by Priest. They've got one left. Georgia has a chance to virtually lock it up right now with Shayla Worley. Again, I love having 2 seniors here, Shayla Worley and Noelle Couch, who have never beaten Alabama in their career. And it's up to them to finish this one off today. Shayla's first pass. A double pike. Took a little bounce coming back out of it.
She's a pro at keeping that front foot down. I don't know how she does it. But that was one of the biggest double pikes I've seen her do.
9.875 score for Ashley Priest. And unfortunately bounces out on the front double full. There have been great scores ahead of her. A couple 9.875s, 9.8 from Persinger, 9.9 from Brandy J. And you got Noelle Couch behind her, so a 10th here is hopefully not going to be in a position to make or break the Gym Dogs today.
We can spare a 10th.
First time that Georgia has looked human on floor so far. Final pass here for Shayla. Finishes with a front layout 1.5. Great third pass. And the crowd's still loud and behind her, and the table will be set for Noelle Couch. Alabama will finish up competition with Kim Jacob. Jacob had the first of two terrific 9.95s on floor.
Going for her flight series, flip-flop layout, manages to hang on. And beat jump to a straddle full. Nice full turn. Side aerial to 2 feet landing. You don't see that often. And dismount, round off 1.5, little hop forward.
Shayla Worley's routine going 9.5, counting that 1/10 deduction for stepping out on her second pass. And the crowd will rise to welcome Noelle Couch.
So does the lightsaber.
And the lightsaber with it. Obi-Wan or whoever in row 1 of the student section. And Noelle Couch, the senior, is going to wrap up this win over Alabama today for the Gym Dogs. First pass. Pike full in, and she sticks it. Of course, she's Noelle.
Yep. She's superhuman.
Again, Noelle has been held out to this point this season with an injury to her thumb. She is only back on 2 events.
Guys in the front, I'm sorry, I'm watching them.
Second pass for Noelle. Change here on that second pass. Double full, excellent. And other than seeing that thumb taped up, you wouldn't know that there's a thing wrong with her the way that she's competing. Noelle is going to sell any floor routine to the hilt. I got to imagine that she is as fun as anyone on this team for Russell Warfield to come up with choreography for, because she had the shark last year.
Oh, yeah. It's all about the theme for her.
Yeah, and the Star Wars theme here this year, I mean, she owns it. And again, the senior to put the finishing touch on the first win for Georgia over Alabama since 2009, and she does it with a stick. How about
Welcome
that?
Back, Noelle Couch.
How about it? And this crowd is going to rise to its feet. January 23rd, 2009, the last time the Gym Dogs beat Alabama until today, February 2nd, 2013. First win for everybody on this roster. First win for Dana Durrani over the 2-time defending national champion Crimson Tide, and 10,000 strong in Stegman Coliseum stand up and salute this season-high score for Georgia.
Alabama has performing in exhibition Lauren Beers.
Before we wrap up this day, we do have an exhibition routine for Alabama on beam. The score comes up for Noelle Couch, and it's a 9.875. Would love to...
Wow.
She 9.875 on both beam and floor, but that's still a great spot for Noelle to be in her first meet back. Georgia goes 49.325 on floor. And again, this is Lauren Beers for Alabama on beam.
And flip-flop layout, land 2 feet. Very good. And switch ring to Sassone. Beautiful hold there. And switch leap to a gainer off the front, stuck landing. Great routine for Alabama. Good, another exhibition to get out there.
Cassidy, 2009, the last time Georgia beat Alabama, you were a sophomore on a team that would go on to win a national championship. I was sitting in section WW as a junior, just watching the meet. This is my first opportunity as a broadcaster to see Georgia beat Alabama, and it's long overdue for this team. Alabama has had a great run of success, and they're going to again. This is a season-high score for Alabama, 196.950, and Georgia with a season-high 197.5 registers the win today, and they do it by more than half a point. Alabama is always a team that hits their stride. They figure it out midway through the year. They'll put up some huge scores. They will be a force to be reckoned with in the SEC championship, in the regional, in the prelims, in the Super Six. You know that you've got to go through Alabama to win a championship, but Georgia has done, I think, something big by maybe demystifying a little bit the big three. Georgia hasn't gotten over the hump against Alabama, Florida, or Utah since 2009. This is a huge step forward for this team.
It is, and you know, we still do have a long way to go, but so many great things here happen tonight. You know, bounce backs from falls and things like that, uncharacteristic things that really just shows the growth in this team and really the mentality and just keep on going no matter what happens. And they have nothing but to hold their heads high tonight.
You know, I know that people have a tendency to want to see this in week one of the season, and they want to see, you know, we talk about it's coming. It happened today. You know, this is, it's still, there are things that you could look at and want to improve for Georgia and will need to improve going forward, but you put Noelle Couch back in the lineup. You start to see maybe what the lineups are going to look like come postseason time. I think floor 1 through 6 is where it's going to be probably the entire rest of the season for Georgia. Beam is starting to find its footing after a season-high 49.075 last week at Metroplex. They shattered that today with a 49.425 on beam. Oddly enough, this is one of the low bar scores of the year, so there's still things where the ceiling is not a 197.5 for Georgia, and I think that's a great thing. The ceiling is certainly not a 196.950 for Alabama, but head-to-head on this particular day, Georgia was the better team. Georgia has earned the win to improve to 5-4 on the season.
They've earned it day in, day out. They've worked day in, day out so hard, and it's like Krista Tanella said in her interview that it's gymnastics is so mental, and these girls have really tackled that and conquered it head on, and you can only get better from here though with that mentality. It is, you know, like you said, it doesn't stop here. It keeps going, and you keep pushing each other.
And we will get to see that next week to see if Georgia can back this up on the road in Lexington, Kentucky, Friday at 7 o'clock, live audio. We're back here in 2 weeks, and if you thought that this was a tough test, get ready. February 16th, there it is, 4 o'clock p.m., the #1 Florida Gators come to Stegman Coliseum. That will be a fantastic matchup if Georgia can perform the way that they did today. Reminder, this week's Gym Dog Show moved from its Wednesday time slot to Thursday at 3:30. I want to thank our entire crew. Our executive producer is Mike Bilbo. Our cameraman, David Hurst, Naja Bradley, Elijah Gallus. We got a tandem of all-world directors and producers in Dana McGaw and Audra Plummer. My partner is Cassidy McComb. Our sports information director is Ben Beatty. Your final score today: Georgia 197.5, Alabama 196.950. On behalf of all of us at GeorgiaDogs.com, this is Kevin Kopp saying thank you so much for watching. Good night from Stegman Coliseum.